Good morning. Good morning, everybody. We are here bright and early. Bright and early. It is like 7 a.m. my time. So, yes, this is definitely a morning stream. Welcome, everybody. It's going to be nice to see some faces in here that we normally don't get to see. So, streaming at an unusual time for us, but we are here. We're going to go ahead and get our comments pulled up, all that good stuff, send out notifications. Let's see. Go ahead and notify everybody and send everybody a ping bright and early. Wake up. We are streaming. We are streaming. We are here. It is a very chilly morning for me. Mint's first in chat. What's up, Mint? Good morning, Mint. We've got Ivan right behind Mint. What's up, Ivan? Hope you're doing well, man. Today we're going to be talking about... Hold on. Let me get everything pulled up. Let me get the music ready to go. Today we're going to be talking about Let It Play Out. That is going to be our topic of today's stream. Let it play out. Let's see, let me get pulled up. You would think I would do all this stuff before I started the stream. I never think to. There we go. Okay. Soon one here. I think is that a typo, Mint? My body has been super tense and stressed all morning. Nothing I can do about it. Well, welcome, Mint. Yes, we're going to talk about all that today. I think you'll leave this stream with a little bit of motivation, hopefully a little bit of motivation and encouragement, right? So don't you worry. Don't you worry. This will hopefully be a motivating stream for you. I don't know why I wanted to stream at 7 a.m. my time, but I was just in a streaming mood. So smallest little tasker thought of it shoots my stress level to the roof. Well, like I said, man, we're going to talk about all that today. I'm in the time. Gotcha. Okay. Gotcha. Yeah, it's always, you never know when you do streams this early in the morning how it's going to go. Sometimes we have really, really full morning streams, and other times it's a smaller stream. But either way, we're going to have a good one today. We're going to be talking about Let It Play Out. Like I said, we're going to explore exactly what that means here in just a moment. Elliot's in chat. What's up, Elliot? Welcome, dude. Hope you're doing fantastic. Hope you're having a good morning, or whatever time it might be for you. Good morning, good night. We got people all over the place. All right, let me see here. I do want to give it another minute or two at least, guys, before we jump into this one, just to try to give everybody a fair chance to get in here who wants to watch us live. I'm a little snotty today. I don't know if it's because it's just really cold but you'll have to overlook that. Oh, it's 4 a.m. for you, Ellie. Okay, gotcha. It's just about to go to sleep. Hate my sleep schedule. I was on the night owl schedule for a very, very long time, so I completely understand. Been doing some things, trying to do them slow, but my body's like a bike. When I slow down, it almost tips over, but when I pedal, it goes faster and faster. I think you need to reframe the way you're looking at these things, Mint, because if you're looking at them like a task list that you just need to blow through as quickly as possible, you could be putting a tremendous amount of stress on yourself to get things done. And of course, continuing to live in positive behaviors is one of the backbones of recovery, right? Not letting anxiety determine what you do. But, you also need to keep in mind that resting and making time for relaxation is also a positive behavior, right? And that sometimes it's needed. So maybe reframe the way that you're looking about going at this thing. Instead of looking at it as things that you need to blow through as quick as possible, which I'm sure stresses you out, right? Try to look at it as something slightly different, as things that you want to do or need to do, but you're going to do them one thing at a time, right? So remember that slowing down in itself can be very, very helpful for anxiety, because if you're a person that is in let's say, a stage of flight, right, which is to do things very, very quickly and as quickly as possible, and I can't sit down for 2 seconds, right? If that's something you're kind of going up against, probably be good, and I don't want to be so quick to use the word exposure, but probably be a good exposure for you to go against that flight at times, right, and make times for relaxation. Because you never know. You could be one of those people. I know I was at times. I dealt with a lot of freeze response, but there was also a lot of flight response, so it was constantly not being able to sit down, right? So if that's you, could be helpful if you slow down a little bit, Mint. All right, guys, let's go ahead and get this one started because, like I said, it is a weird time to be streaming, so I don't exactly expect there to be a ton of people here. And we might as well not wait around too long. So, let it play out is going to be the topic of today's stream. Let it play out. Now, this one kind of goes hand in hand with yesterday's stream, right? With yesterday's stream. We talked about holding nothing back, and this is more or less the same topic, just put a different way, right? So, starting from the top here, what do most people do when they're feeling anxious and that anxiety starts to get intense, or they're feeling panicky and maybe even that panic comes? The number one thing that they want to do is the complete opposite of let it play out. They don't want to let it play out, and that's understandable, especially if you don't have any prior knowledge of acceptance, right? As somebody experiencing intense anxiety or panic, right, you probably have the belief that letting it play out is the worst thing you could possibly do, right? Who wants to let intense feelings, whether those feelings come from a thought or maybe a certain situation that has triggered you, who wants to let those feelings play out? Probably nobody at first, right? Then you start to learn about acceptance. Then you find this guy on YouTube who does streams about anxiety, right? Rumble, thank you so much, Rumble. You find I love you, thank you. You find this guy on YouTube who talks about anxiety and talks about acceptance, right? And he's telling you that you need to let it play out. So let's talk about that. Again, your knee-jerk reaction, because anxiety is your fight or flight response. It's supposed to get you geared up. It's supposed to get you fleeing. It's supposed to get you fighting. So kind of naturally, your knee-jerk reaction is going to be to not let it play out. Like, try to stop that as soon as possible, right? Try to stop this reaction. I've got this reaction going on in my body. It's the result of whatever, right? And when I say whatever, it's the result of a thought that's triggered you and set you off. It's the result of thoughts with an S. It's a result of a situation. Something has set your amygdala off. And again, the first thing you want to do is not let that play out. It's so strong. We need to bring this to a halt. We need to bring this to an end. We need to get a handle on this as soon as possible, right? And that sends you in to a bunch of negative sort of tactics. You start fighting with the thoughts, which always make them worse. You start fighting with the feelings, which just tells your body, oh my God, there's a problem here. You start telling your brain in all of these round and about ways that there is some sort of issue, there's some sort of danger, there's some sort of problem, right? So first and foremost, I want you to understand that I completely get why you don't want to let it play out, because it seems like it's just mounting, right? How many people can relate to that in chat? It seems like it's just mounting, and that it's going to just keep mounting unless you do something about it. I need to figure this out. I need to get that thought to go away. I need to avoid this situation or get out of this situation, because this anxiety is just going to keep mounting and mounting and mounting. That's like such a common fear, that the anxiety is just going to build and build and build, right? So everybody's like in this state of, oh my gosh, I can't let this play out. I can't let this play out. There's no way I can let this play out, right? So everybody is in this kind of mindset of, no, we must put the brakes on. Like, I got to get this feeling to stop. I got to get this thought to stop. Whatever it takes, I'm going to do it, whether it's avoidance, whether it's fighting that thought and making that thought go away that's setting me off right now, that's triggering me. Whatever it is I need to do, I'm going to do it. Right? So that's kind of everybody's false belief. Now, the problem with that is, if you've been here for a while, you already know this, but the problem with mentally having this mindset of, oh my goodness, I need to put the brakes on, right? The problem with that mental mindset is that you tell the brain there's something wrong. That attitude, really, is what you could call it. That attitude, that perception that you have and perspective of anxiety, that you need to put the brakes on and you need to shut it down however you can. That is what keeps it going. That's what keeps the brain from being able to learn. That's what tells the brain that there's a problem. If you're trying to stop something, what kind of message do you think that's sending to the brain? If you're trying to stop something, right, whether it's a feeling or a thought, that's going to tell the brain that feeling or thought or situation, whatever, is important. That's going to tell the brain that feeling, thought, situation, or whatever is a danger, because you wouldn't be trying to stop it if it wasn't a danger. So you're telling the brain, oh, that's a danger. Now, we know in reality that having a thought is not a danger. We know in reality that having a feeling is not a danger. We know all of this from a rational standpoint, but your brain doesn't. Your brain is just going off of you. So if you get into a mindset of, oh man, I got to put the brakes on this feeling, right? I got to put the brakes on this thought because it's causing me these feelings. If you adopt any sort of mindset of trying to stop this thing or change this thing, then you're basically telling the brain that's a problem, right? It's a problem because I'm trying to stop it. It's a danger because I'm trying to intervene and make it go away. And then the brain says, oh my God, they're experiencing some sort of danger. Let's give them more anxiety symptoms, right? And then round and round we go. You get more anxiety symptoms, and the whole time you're still having this mindset of, Dr. Claire Weeks called it second fear. You've still got this mindset of put the brakes on, make it stop, change it. The brain's getting more freaked out. Oh my God, what's the problem? What are they worried about? Doesn't know that you're worried about the anxiety symptoms itself, right? Doesn't know that. Brain doesn't know that. So brain gives more. And you can see how this cycle is kind of like a circle. You just go round and round. It's like the snake eating its own tail, right? So at some point, you got to be like, you know what? Let it play out. And that brings me to the point of this stream. That brings me to what you see there in the stream. Let it play out, right? Now, this is one of thousands and thousands of examples of an accepting inner voice, of an accepting attitude. Of course, we're all about giving examples. You don't have to take it word for word. You don't have to tell yourself these things word for word. You can come up with your own sort of accepting inner voice that puts you more into that accepting attitude, right? But let it play out is a good one. It's a good one because, again, people think, oh, this anxiety is just going to keep going. I got to change the situation. I got to fight the thought. I got to make the thought go away. I got to do something about this. And as we just said, that mindset's going to tell the brain, oh, there's a problem here. So you can see how you just keep like a ping pong ball, right? Like a ping pong ball. So this mindset of let it play out, right? If you really start to practice adopting this mind shift of let it play out, that's exactly where we want you to be, because the whole point of acceptance is that no matter what comes, you're going to try to at least practice, okay? You don't have to be perfect, but at least practice the willing, ooh, that is a big key word here on the channel, the willing attitude to let it play out. So let's say you have, how does this apply to those words? Let's say you have a sticky thought and it's causing you a bunch of anxiety. Instead of trying to get up there mentally and figure that thought out or force it to go away, right, which we know just tells the brain there's a problem, instead you're going to say to yourself, okay, I'm going to let this play out, right? You're going to let that thought be there. It might be there for a while. You're going to let those feelings be there. You're going to let those feelings be there. Whatever you're feeling, whatever your thoughts you're having, let it play out, right? Because the moment you get involved is the moment, right? The moment you tell the brain that there's a problem, because you wouldn't be getting involved if there wasn't a problem. That's the way the brain sees it, right? My person would not be getting so strongly involved with these thoughts and feelings, like mentally trying to fight with them or whatever it is you do, physical coping methods or compulsions. The brain is like, hey, my person would not be getting involved unless there was a problem. So there must be a problem because they're getting involved, right? So this mental mind shift change to, hey, you know what, I'm just going to let it play out, right? That's a scary one at first. I understand. I'm not trying to say this is the easiest thing in the world to do. I'm not trying to take away from you that this requires practice. I'm not trying to take anything away from you, right, everybody? But what I am saying is you do have to practice this attitude of, okay, I'm going to let it play out. So to let that thought be there, even though it's causing you strong anxiety and not fighting with it, yeah, that sounds scary. But you can see how it gets you out of that whole analogy of the snake eating its own tail, right? I'm just going to let it play out. Eventually, you're going to gain confidence. If you live by and practice this attitude enough, eventually you're going to gain confidence. You're going to be able to say, you know what, I did let that play out, right? And eventually I was okay. Eventually you're going to gain confidence of this attitude, this willing attitude, and you're one day, it might take time, it might take plenty of practice, but one day you're going to be able to say, wait a minute, you know what? No matter what thought is there, no matter what feeling is there, as long as I just let it play out, right? It might not pass as quickly as you would prefer it to, but one day you're going to be able to say, hey, I'm starting to see that as long as I let it play out, eventually things get better. And again, it might not be as quickly as you'd like, right? But you will see that one day. You will see that one day. Don't put yourself on a time frame. Oh, I've been using this advice and I'm not seeing the whole truth behind it. You got to give it time, right? You got to give it time. But we do really want you to get to a point where you're sort of able to say, hey, you know, I'm able to let this stuff play out. I'm able to not get involved, and I see that everything is okay in the end, right? I'm able to let this play out, and yes, it's very strong at times, and yes, it can be very intense at times. Like, I know all of this stuff, right? But one day you'll be able to say, hey, I know that I can let it play out. And that's really the attitude that we're going for. That's really the overall, if you wanted to sum it all up here on the channel, that's really the attitude that we're going for, is an attitude of, hey, no matter what feelings there, what thoughts there, I don't have to fight it. I can let it play out. So if you're struggling trying to find words to sort of grasp, right? If you're struggling to kind of figure out how do I get myself into a more accepting attitude, then I want you to practice, keyword practice, because I don't expect you to hit the ground running with this, right? But keyword practice, then practice that attitude. Practice telling yourself, I'm going to let it play out. And yes, that gets intense at times, right? Because you probably want to go to your coping methods. You probably want to go to your compulsions. You probably want to get that thought away from you as quickly as possible and figure it out and get reassurance and whatever it is you do, all these things that are down the negative rabbit hole, you're probably going to have a really strong urge to want to do those things. And you might even have to repeat those words to yourself just to kind of get you back on track, get you grounded, and get you back focused, right? And that's okay. So I do want you to expect that as you practice this willing attitude, big word there, willing. As you practice this willing attitude, and big word practice, I want you to expect a few things. I want you to realize that it's not probably going to bring you instant results, and that takes time, right? The brain needs to learn. This release needs to happen. I want you to also realize that it may be a scary thing for you to not go for your coping methods and compulsions and fight that thought off. So it may be a scary thing for you, and that's fine too. That's a part of the process. And number 3, I want you to understand that you don't have to be perfect, right? I say that all the time. You guys hear me say that all the time. And the reason I say that all the time is because maybe on Wednesday, you were telling yourself, I'm going to let it play out, and you did a really good job at that, right? No coping methods and no compulsions. You didn't fight with a majority of your thoughts, whatever. You just let it burn. And then maybe on Thursday, it's a different story. You screw up a little bit. You use compulsions. You use coping methods. You fight with the thoughts. You get what I'm saying. You don't have to be perfect to take steps forward. You don't have to be perfect to get in good experience points. You don't have to be perfect to practice. Right? And I think that's why Dr. Claire Weekes, I know that's why Dr. Claire Weekes loved the word practice, because it definitely is a practice. We know how strong these thoughts and feelings can be. We know it feels like life or death sometimes, right? And we know in your mind, especially if you don't have much confidence or experience yet, we know in your mind you're thinking, oh man, I can't hold on much longer. I got to get rid of this thought. I got to do the compulsion. We know all that, right? So that's why we use the term practice as much as we do here on the channel. So again, this stream is just to kind of help anybody out there that's not really grasping, what they can sort of tell themselves or what they need to be practicing. You need to be practicing that, right? If you're confused and not really sure where to go from here, that's where you need to go. That's the steps, in the right direction. That is the direction that you need to start heading, which is the direction of I'm going to let this play out. We're going to see what happens. And I know to a lot of people that is a scary thought in itself, right? Oh gosh, I'm just going to let this play out, right? Well, that's how you're going to make the most progress. That's where we need you to get to. That's where we need you to, what we need you to work on, right? That attitude of, okay, I'm going to let this thing play out. All right, you guys. So just a good little morning stream here today. I don't have much else for you other than that. I wanted to start your morning hopefully in the right direction and give you a little bit of motivation and encouragement before you start your day. Some of you are just now ending your day, but regardless, I think majority of people are starting their days. So I hope this starts your day off in the right way. I hope you can grasp what I'm saying and at least try to internalize it, try to take it in, and at least consider it, right? If you're not at the point where you're full-blown into the practice yet, well, at least consider it. at least try to consider what I'm saying and the truth behind what I'm saying. And if you don't get started today, try to get started tomorrow. At some point, we need to get you going. At some point, we need to get past considering what I'm saying and actually starting to put it into practice, right? Put it into action. So if you did enjoy the point of this little morning stream, please leave a like. I would really appreciate it. It does help the channel grow, and I'm so grateful for it. But with that being said, that is the morning stream. That is the point of the stream. We're going to hang out with our chat. Can we do a quick roll call chat? Let's see who is all in here with us. I see Tony just popped in. What's up, Tony? I'm going to get to sleep, but I'm definitely listening. You're the man, Wonder Bro. Got to fix the sleep schedule. I hate the 4 a.m. bedtime. Like I said, dude, I was a night owl, and I will probably go back to being a night owl because anytime I fix my sleep, it doesn't stay that way for long. So I'm right there with you, Elliot, or I will be soon anyway. I'm sure. Love y'all. Have a great day. Elliot, thank you for watching, dude. I really appreciate it. Mint, how you doing, Mint? Thank you for the emojis. Appreciate it. But yeah, who all do we still have in here? We got Carly, we got Jennifer, we got Anna. Hello. Morning anxiety so common, Anna. Let it play out. Let it play out. It's funny because anytime someone asks for advice or makes comments on any of my streams, I'm always like, how can I apply the title of whatever today's stream is to that question, to that comment? So super anxious this morning? Question mark. I want you to get into the attitude of let it play out, even if you've got to speak those words to yourself, right? And you probably do have to speak those words to yourself because that's how you get yourself to consider new possibilities, is by speaking new things to yourself. So instead of going the old route, which is any sort of like scary things that you tell yourself, negative things that you tell yourself, you can at least practice, right? Practice, practice, practice. Because again, nobody's perfect. At least practice the attitude of letting it play out. At least practice the attitude of letting it play out. JB, good morning, JB. Hope you're doing fantastic this morning. I'm constantly checking my heart rate, pulse when not feeling anxious. Yeah, definitely a huge compulsion. I would call that a compulsion, 100% a compulsion. And in fact, it's a very common compulsion. People do that one quite often. I'm assuming, you know, at some point in your life, you've been medically cleared and you don't have any, you know, other issues going on with you that would require you to be constantly checking your pulse. So, you know, with all things considered, we can pretty confidently say that that's a compulsion. And like I said, it's a very common compulsion at that. So whether you continue to check your pulse constantly or not is completely up to you. But yeah, that's just my opinion on the matter. So let's see. Let's get us some music going in the background here, guys. We're just going to put on our go-to playlist today. We're just going to go to our Old Faithful today. But yeah, if you've got any questions, feel free to ask them. Let's get that music started there. I accidentally removed my question. Feel free to send it again, Mint. I'm not sure how many people we got in here, but I think it's a fairly quiet morning stream today. Sometimes the morning streams are full, sometimes they're quiet. I'm all for a laid-back, relaxed morning stream. I'm all for it. But yeah, feel free to ask your questions, guys. Feel free to ask your questions. Thanks, Wonder Bro, going through a stressful time right now, so these live streams help. My pleasure, JB. I'm glad you enjoy the live streams, dude, and I hope you leave the streams with at least a little bit of encouragement or motivation. I'm sure you were already aware, even before I answered that is a compulsion. You've probably done it for, you know, quite some time now. I'm sure you're very aware of your own habits, but sometimes it can be beneficial to hear an outside perspective, right? yeah, not scared or in despair. I just feel intensely stressed, and my body is stuck in high activation, kind of. Yeah, so it sounds like maybe what has happened meant is that you have lost a lot of the second fear that you were used to adding, right? Just through practice, you don't add as nearly as much second fear as you used to, so it doesn't turn into a whole lot of the high fear, so forth and so on. So maybe you're to the point in your recovery that although you don't have as much fear of it anymore, right, your body can still very much be in a fight or flight state, right? Does that make sense? What's up, Fractional? Only just seen this again. What's up, dude? Welcome. Just got back, just back from X-ray in the hospital. How did that go? Hope that wasn't too tedious for you. In and out. It could be meant that you're just in a stressed out body and mind, right? Not necessarily sensitized or severely sensitized anyway. There is middle grounds, right? Like it's not either you're severely sensitized or you're healed, right? There is middle grounds there. There is middle grounds there. So it's not just, oh, either I feel extreme fear or I'm healed. There's middle grounds. All right, give me just a second, guys. Give me just a second. All right, apologies. Pardon the interruption, but we are back. We are back. If I was scared, I could say this is borderline panic, but since I'm not anxious/scared, yeah. And that's kind of the point that I was getting at earlier, meant that there is a chance that maybe you're just not afraid of it, therefore it feels a little bit different to you than it normally would, right? There's a couple different theories that we could toss around there. A couple different theories that we could toss around there. We got Ghost in the house. What's up, Ghost? Okay, says, what's the topic this morning? Punchline, please. The topic of this stream this morning was let it play out. So basically everybody, well, not everybody, but a lot of people, have this sort of belief that they can't let it play out because if they don't stop the thought that's causing them anxiety, or if they don't stop the situation that's causing them anxiety, it's just going to mount and grow like indefinitely, right? And that's just not the case. So that's why people get wound up in this cycle of fighting, when really if you start to practice the attitude of, okay, I'm going to let this play out without trying to fight it off, and if it peaks, it peaks, right? So it's really seeing it through. Dr. Claire Weeks, one of her punchlines, right? See it right through. So that was the topic of today's stream. Let it play out. Nothing much. How about you, Chris? Just chilling, Ghost. Just chilling. A chill little morning stream today. Chill little morning stream today. You'll gain confidence as you move along with this whole letting it play out theory, right? Because I know at first you're still scared to do that. You want to stop every thought, stop every feeling, stop every situation. You're just so scared of that anxiety continuing to grow. I understand that. So constantly you're in the state of fighting with everything that comes along, thoughts and situations, whether it's avoidance, coping methods, compulsions, trying to solve the thoughts or get reassurance. You're constantly in the state of doing that because, right, you don't want it to build. But you do got to get that experience under your belt for let it play out. Kay, thank you so much for the $3 tip, Kay. Appreciate you. Thank you. Thank you for the $3 tip, Kay. Show some love in the chat, guys. Takes us to 8. Thank you so much, Kay. Confidence is big key, because we know the facts. Now we have to build confidence. Yeah, and confidence comes from putting into play everything that you've learned here. So, maybe one day you're able to build a little bit of confidence because you don't go straight for the coping method, compulsion, reassurance, avoidance. There's so many things you could use there. One day you don't do that towards a thought, and eventually it loses some of its power, and you're like, wait a minute, I didn't do anything, right? Or so forth and so on. So, yeah, that confidence is a pretty big key. I agree with you, Kay. When you say chilly, you mean like peak summer temps, what Ghost said, nice and chilly. It is about 32 degrees here. So it's a little bit chilly. It's a little bit chilly today. I don't know about where you're at, Ghost, but it's definitely a little bit nippy today. Morning, everyone. Good morning, David. Hope you're having a good morning. Although I'm not going to pretend like I can pronounce that word. There ain't much they can do. Well, keep us updated, Fractual, as you figure out more. Keep us updated. I'm in hell, Chris, remember. So it must be pretty hot then, huh? Must be pretty hot then. Oh, I think we got an ad. Yeah, let's skip past that. Feels like I'm sitting on a stove. That doesn't sound comfortable. Yeah, keep us updated on your situation, Fractal. Keep us updated. This one might be a short one today, guys. I'm not quite sure yet. It might be a short one today. Will do, Chris. Thanks. Absolutely, dude. But anytime we do a short one, we usually come back with a second one later in the day. I don't know if we'll do that today, but it's a possibility. Dream that I moved to Sweden. You announced that Sweden is so great that you were planning on staying and building a house. Who knows? Maybe one day. That's funny. Maybe one day, Mint. Oh, the Minecraft talk. Yes, the land of Sweden. All right, guys. I'm gonna wind this one down early this morning. Just a little short stream this morning, but there is a possibility that we will be back later during our normal hours, because I know this one is like kind of out of the blue. So there is a possibility that we'll be back later during our normal streaming hours. All right, guys. But for now, I'm gonna wind this one down. Just a quick little, hey, what's up? Felt like streaming morning stream. But keep your eyes peeled, because like I said, later during our more normal hours, we may be back. Okay. So thank you for watching this this short little morning stream. I appreciate it. It was nice being able to say what's up to you guys, saying hello, hi, how you doing? But I'll see you guys very, very soon. All right, beautiful people. Thank you. I hope you have an amazing day, an amazing morning, an amazing night. You know, wherever you're watching from, sleep well or have a good day, whatever applies to you. And I'll see you all very, 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 very soon. Until next time, as always, stay awesome.